Spiritforged spoiler season is upon us, and Pastry Time is back to help us cover it all on this week's episode of The Winning Point.
I didn't start, which is usually that's a I don't know if that's a portent of good things or bad.
That's how you know
things.
I'm back.
He's back, baby!
Absolute chaos already.
Absolutely back.
A domain we'll talk about today because I can't help myself, I think.
Oh, we can't delay it anymore. Welcome to The Winning Point, episode 24. It's spoiler season. No one cares about anything else.
We did it!
Yeah, that's pretty much it. We made it. We made it to the second set.
I am Blevins. That is Casanova. That is Charmer. And we get to welcome back freshly minted father, Pastry Time. What's up, buddy?
Very tired Pastry Time, but very happy to be back. Very happy to be a dad. Both those things are great, if a little bit incongruous with each other. But glad to make some time. Shout outs to my mom and my wife for making some space.
You love to see it. You love to hear it. We couldn't go too long without having a prolific Australian esports caster on. So
Exactly.
we had Uber on last week, but you came in and filled the gap.
I'm ready. Yeah, they spoiled Irelia. I came back immediately.
Left after spoiler season, back for spoiler season. Yeah, he knows what he wants to talk about.
Yeah, like you guys figured this out. We'll be back for the easy episodes, but. Well, this is going to be an easy episode. I was going to say something different, but this is going to be great. It's going to be fantastic. But you know what else is going to be great and fantastic? SCG Con. And by the time you're listening to this, it may already be happening. We may already be live in Las Vegas. 21 to 23rd. Go watch this very channel for the live coverage of the SCG Con Riftbound 10K. We got all sorts of other crazy stuff.
This episode, we're going to do spoilers and all of that, but we're also going to have another episode, a bonus episode of Winning Point live from SCG Con with a special guest, with all the talent that are going to be at SCG Con. Pastry, I believe you said you're not actually coming.
Correct, I'm not making it.
So for the bonus episode, we'll have Pastry, but the other three of us plus a special guest will be doing an episode live from Las Vegas. So that'll be fun. You'll get 2 episodes of Winning Point this week.
Let's go.
Charmer, what have you been up to, buddy?
I'm just trying to stay alive. My health has been in shambles.
Yep.
So that's pretty much it. I've sent you guys the pictures. For the folks who don't know, I've been on antibiotics. I had some vaccines, and then I had some weird reactions. And then one of the reactions I actually had is in the arm that I tore my bicep from the bone. The vaccine caused the surgical scar to like balloon up. So I've had a bit of a weird week, but that all doesn't matter because in less than a week, I will be in Las Vegas talking about Riftbound, and that will make it all worth it.
There you
True.
go.
Yes, absolutely will make it all worth it. We're going to be talking about a lot of new cards coming right up. But first, we gotta give props where crops. We gotta give props where crops are due.
The crops are due. We gotta feed the audience.
We gotta feed the audience the crops and the props given to the one and only Casanova, who was given props by Riot in the spotlight.
Finally.
Obviously, you knew this was coming, Cass, because you did the little mini interview, but I was taken aback by it in a good way. It was awesome to see.
The fuck is Charmer doing there?
It's crazy. They asked me for images of me playing Riftbound, and I was like, damn, I don't take any pictures. And so the pictures I had is me making that dumbass face next to Charmer, and then a couple behind-the-scenes photos were the only ones I had playing Riftbound. But there were like 30 questions that they sent me. And I sent images that corresponded with a lot of them. So a lot is like cutting room floor. Only a little bit actually showed up. But that fuck-ass photo ended up in there. Which is...
And if you want to see that, join the Patreon. Well, Casanova will post all of the
This is a really
content.
weird way to say thank you, but you're welcome, Cass. I'm glad that I could do this for you.
Yeah, thank you for Jarver for actually taking photos so that I had any photos. Because we got Cosmic, we got Dan there as well. There's all some good people playing some good games. But this was fun. I've been doing Riot game stuff for like 13 years, man. I mean, it's cool that there was this. Yeah, thanks for this. We love that. Oh, he scuffed it. He scuffed it so bad. He scuffed it so bad. But I've been doing stuff for so long. I started my entire esports career. Started in like season 2 League of Legends, and I was like playing semi-pro and stuff. And to like full circle come back to Riot Games after the whole like Heroes of the Storm stuff, and then coming back in doing TFT, doing Legends of Runeterra, now doing Riftbound. It was like pretty surreal to get the email that they wanted to do this little feature, and I was like, all right, yes, I would love to.
Big
It was very fun. So had me going down memory lane too. They were asking about like my roots in gaming, and I was like, oh, well, it does start with me playing chess when I was 3 with my grandfather. And so I was like, oh, wouldn't it be cool if there was like I found a photo of that? So I actually like asked for my parents if they had any old photos, and I ended up finding some old photos of me with my grandfather that I hadn't seen in like probably 15 to 17 years, something like that. So that was kind of cool. Just did this whole walk through my career with this article, and that was a lot of fun.
My favorite thing about this story is that the heartwarming photo of you and your grandparents was left on the cutting room floor, but the one
yes, exactly, it was. Yeah.
So good. But in all seriousness, absolutely amazing. Like just came across, was scrolling through, and I'm like, wait, hold up. Oh, the cast put out a thing. I'm like, wait, that cast didn't tweet that out. Wait, that's from Riot.
The Riot Games, the Riot James account. Yeah.
Yes, Riot James tweeted it out, and absolutely amazing. So, congrats, cast. Well deserved. Amazing. Fantastic.
Very true. Love you, Cass.
Thank you, gamers.
Speaking of things that we can congratulate Casanova on, the judge test for Riftbound is officially out. Pull up the scores for Casanova. If you want to become an official judge, you can go on the Riftbound page. You can go to your account, and if you're looking on YouTube, you can obviously see it. But you can go through, it's like on your account page in the settings, you can go find the judge program, take the test. As someone who, I won't reveal my score, but I didn't pass. Just go through, give the rules a once over before you take this, because I did it after taking the test, and I'll let you know that doesn't help you improve your scores if you go through the rules afterwards.
Yeah. If you didn't pass, you need to study more. That's the thing. I passed. I was able to pass. I got one question wrong. I'm pretty sure I got a question about like organized play wrong and like the punishments. I'm pretty sure I was too lenient. I think I was too lenient on that one, and I got it wrong. But maybe not. Maybe I got something else wrong that I'm not aware of. I felt pretty confident about the rest. I do think it was weird that this doesn't give you feedback, but also I guess then you could just screenshot the entire test of all the right answers and post them
instantaneously.
So that does make sense, but also the fact that everyone also gets the same exact 12 questions is probably not ideal, and I think people will be able to pass the test without actually knowing anything, but at the same time, is what it is. They need judges, and the fact that people can take initiative and get their L1 is good, and hopefully they release like L2 and advancement stuff pretty quickly, and that's a lot more like strenuous. So
I also had a 92 cast. I got one wrong, and I was torn between that, the one that you're referring to again with the organized play level, whether or not you should rewind it, etc. I was torn between that one, and then there was another one that was based on sequencing, and I feel pretty confident that I had that one correct, but after getting one wrong, I was starting to second guess myself. I do wish, or I guess I should say I hope that at some point we can see what the results are. I did notice that the order of the questions changes from attempt to attempt. They've very clearly built in something where they can just add in more questions to the pool over time and then go from there. So I think that in the future we might be able to get some more feedback, but it was nice, but I want to know what I got wrong. It's going to bother me.
See, you just get many, many questions wrong, and you're just like, I almost certainly got that one wrong. And you just know. You just know you got it wrong. Although I will say, so I was like, I want to take this as fast as possible. I'm not going to like look up anything. I'm just going to go off of my knowledge. bad idea. Don't do that if you're actually looking to pass it. For me, it didn't really matter if I passed it or not. So I was like, I'll just see what I get. I went back through and now I'm going through the rules of the fine tooth comb, and I already have found like, oh, definitely got that one wrong. Definitely got another one wrong. So I'm like, I could already improve my score at least by a couple.
There you go.
Which is nice and good. It's all about a learning process for me. I don't actually want to be a judge, like officially like judging events. So I just want to say that I passed the judge test. That's it.
You said to do the social media trend. I get it.
No, he tried to do the social media trend of posting a passing score.
Failed step one.
I mean, for me, it's like, and you're doing the due diligence of going back and looking through it. For me, all it was like, I want to take judge tests as they come out to make sure that I know as much as I think I know about the rules for commentary, right? Like, I want to make sure, and also playing, like, I want to know, like, oh, these edge cases, I know when I can bring them up or when I can utilize them to like win, because I know like how this exact interaction works because I know the rules. And I think judge tests are a really great way for you to kind of like learn that in some sense, where like those questions will come up or things that maybe you never would have thought of. And then you can try and figure out what you think it should be. And then you go do what Blevins did and look it up afterwards and like go read through and be like, oh, so that would have been this. And then you've learned something about the game that is more likely to, I think, stick with you than if you just like try and read the entire rules document and go from there. So it was a lot of fun.
One other thing that I found with this that will likely come up in future episodes when we don't have spoilers to talk about. But I've been going through the fine tooth comb and finding interesting little hidden nuggets that don't give away spoilers or future things, but kind of imply the possibility of things that don't currently exist in the game. So like if it says, a legend can have one or more domains. It doesn't specifically say it has 2 domains. So it implies that we could possibly have legends with more than 2 domains in the future. Little stuff like that. Again, not giving anything away, but in the rules as they're written right now, you can look a little bit deeper, read between the lines and find these things. Those things don't help you pass your judge test though. So read up on the actual rules of the game and not weird conspiracy theories like I did. But just today got our preview season article is up. So preview season is officially underway. We found, we got a few cards in between the last episode we recorded and today. So of course, Riot waiting for us to release the episode before they give us a bunch of cards to talk about. That's okay. We get to talk about them today. But a couple of cool things in the official preview season article, including a little shout out to some of the Riot partners that are going to be previewing some Spiritforged stuff.
Wait a minute.
Hey, hold on a second.
Hey,
wait, that's Medic. I love Medic.
Medic's on there. That's sick. Yeah, but also us. We've got a spoiler, which is pretty cool.
That's very cool.
Our spoiler date will be on November 28th, so you can expect to have ours revealed then, alongside a whole host of amazing other content creators and people involved with the game that will be spoiling the cards. So look out for that. As well as you can see Anu on there, another kind of party turning sideways that'll be doing a bunch of stuff with us
was on there
at SCG Con. Yeah, and ZMGG and Turn 'em Sideways. Yeah, Anu hanging out.
Damn.
So.
No, Anu is on the preview days twice.
Oh, is he? Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah. Again, this is the conspiracy theories, not actually looking at important information. Reading deeper into text that was maybe even just a misclick. Who knows?
Or is this just Blevins doing extra studying since failing his test?
Yeah,
I'm overcompensating by reading more things.
It doesn't matter what it is. He's just reading more.
I've read dozens of TV guides. Cass doesn't even know what that is. A couple of other interesting things from this article. One, we got a picture of the Spiritforged Nexus Knight runes, which is really cool.
They are cool.
So we're getting Oh yeah, there we go. We got the Angie rune. They are very Spiritforged themed, which is good. Or
They look sick.
Yeah, Spirit Blossom themed. They do look quite sick. So I guess that's kind of a confirmation. Like, we're not just going to get the same Nexus Knight runes forever. They're going to be new, which is cool.
Yeah, they also pointed out that Overnumbered can include other things that aren't legends now too.
Yeah.
So there's going to be other Overnumbered cards in the set too. And also the number of legends in the set is confirmed, which is 12. We already have a third of them spoiled.
Yep.
But it's interesting that every set's going to seemingly introduce 12. I wonder if that number will change as they move on, because that's quite a lot of new legends to release every set.
time. Yeah.
Four less than Origins, but that's because Proving Grounds had 4 of them. So like, realistically, so far they're showing that every set should have 12, but I can't imagine that will stay. Much like League of Legends when it started, I think they'll release a lot of champions at once, and they'll probably slow things down as the game gets a bit bigger.
It's like they're trying to support all the color combos, right? By doing 12, because that's every color combo. But like, that just feels like that's gonna get so out of hand, right? That's just gonna be way too many. But we'll see. I doesn't mind it right away, but. You disagree?
I disagree.
Okay.
I do.
Tell me. Counterpoint.
So, as somebody who, obviously, I played a ton of card games. I've been playing Star Wars Unlimited for the last 2 years.
Really?
They do 16 leaders per set. And I would say that I think that the League of Legends intellectual property, the number of legends they have, et cetera, would be very easily able to support 12 legends per set based on that, because when you get to a point where we start talking about rotation and some of those older legends will be rotating out, you can reintroduce new versions of them potentially. There's also different versions of the same legend that you might want in at the same time, whether that's for some sort of cross promotional thing, right? If we get another show like Arcane, obviously Arcane is done, but if we get another League of Legends show, for example, and they want to do something for that, we can see there, multiple legends potentially that are of the same character, but just different representations of them. I think 12 is totally fine. Also, the other reason that I'm hoping that they stick with 12, selfishly, as somebody who, one of my favorite ways to play any card game is limited. I really want there to be like draftable sets, and having a diverse set of leaders, the legends in the set, I think would be very, very good for the limited play of the game, as opposed to, if you've got like 4, not to say that you can't still make that fun, but I don't know. It's not the same as like when you have a big group and you get to choose your favorite from amongst them. Because ultimately, when I think of League of Legends, I think of like everybody has their favorite character, or top 5 or whatever. We all pick a character and main it, and you want to be able to have those characters show up more than once. So I think 12 is fine.
Okay, fair enough.
I think I'm more on the balance side than they can definitely support it. It's that's a lot of plates to spin when you're introducing that many legends, because legends are so defining in what they do to the game. But I'm excited, I guess. I mean, they're not all going to be good, so maybe that's good for someone.
Yeah. I was thinking I'm kind of scared of just legends so swiftly becoming obscure and unplayable or whatever. So basically kind of that same idea as pastry, right? Where it's just okay, Leona's already struggling. Is she just drowning for 4 sets, maybe, and then rotates?
But you also get prizes for playing the bad ones, so incentives.
But only on the current set that they're released is what was said.
Oh, Monka.
Yeah. So it's not like you can kind of go back and do that, right? So I don't know, but as far as Charmer's points, I think that fair. I mean, give us more.
Yeah, Charmer's pretty smart.
Sometimes.
Whoa. You take that back.
I'll take it back. Sorry.
Did your nose just grow? Had to make my yearly Pinocchio reference there. The other thing I'll mention too, and this is something that we don't specifically focus on a lot, but I'm finding myself thinking about more and more, just given the nature of my local Nexus Knights, is that multiplayer is very much going to be a thing, more so than it is right now.
Yep.
My local Nexus Knight are quite casual. There's a few players that want to play like pick up 1v1s, but for the most part, players are like it's very much like Commander Nights, where it's like, hey, I'm coming in, I'm going to find a pod, we're going to play, we might mix and match, but we're going to be playing multiplayer free for all. And a lot of players are leaning towards like their pet deck. They don't care. Like, I don't think I've seen a single person build Kai'Sa in my local meta. I have like the most competitive deck in Annie, which is pretty much like, whatever the current meta build is for Annie. But I've only played a handful of like competitive games against like best of threes where people wanted to play. They're like, oh, I'll play. And I'm like, do you want to play against a good deck or do you want me to play my like Yasuo free for all deck? And they're like, no, I want to play against a good deck. And they played one set against Annie and they're like, yeah, let's play against the other deck. Specifically, Leona is really popular with a lot of players around me where they're like, don't care at all or don't even know at all like how well it's done in the Chinese meta or any of that. Like, just don't care. They're like, I like Leona in League. Leona looks cool. The theming looks cool. Like, I want to build the deck. I don't care about any of the other stuff. She's fine in the free-for-all games we're playing. And I think that like it's obviously fast tracking more so than Magic because it took Magic, however many decade for EDH to come out as a niche format and then even longer for it to become the most popular thing. But Riot has specifically said from the beginning that multiplayer is something that they've planned for, that they've designed for. And I'm seeing it more and more having actually played it. Like it's there. People are enjoying it. I'm enjoying it as well. And like having that variety, even if they're not meta champs, I think is going to be good.
I like Leona. Leona fun. She's cool. I play Leona too.
Yay, Leona.
I opened the altar
my Nexus Knights on Leona though. It's fun.
Now. Yeah, it's I did not have high hopes for enjoying multiplayer like before ever playing Riftbound, and I have enjoyed it a lot. So
we'll rip some at Vegas. I want to play some more. We'll play some.
We will absolutely be playing in Vegas.
All right. You want to get to spoilers?
Let's
get to cards.
Do we ever?
Do it.
Y'all want to talk to
cards?
Give us cards.
Whoa.
All right. There you go. Boom. Immediately. We've got Legends. 5 spoiled so far. We also know
I can't count.
That is 5. We got Rumble and Fiora, also the colors, but we don't know what they'll have with them because they're the starter decks, right? So that's Rumble is red blue and Fiora is orange yellow. But these 5 we actually have the legend abilities for. And do you just want to start with the elephant in the room, the one that everybody is up in arms about? And by everybody, I mean myself. I'm up in arms.
Oh, I'm up in arms.
I am up in arms about Azir. No, it's Draven. No, it's Draven. This is red purple. When you win a combat, draw 1. You win if only your units remain after combat. So anytime you start a combat, and then it ends with you having your units there and them not having their units there, you draw a card. Why would this ever be not the red purple legend that you play as of now? Like, certainly this is just better than Jinx. Annie has some argument of getting her runes back being like a different ability and maybe once different circumstances, but this is like taking 2 extremely powerful colors whose general weakness is like being able to continually have consistent card draw, and just saying you don't even have to be low on cards to do this. You can be very high on cards and just have infinite options.
Yeah, you can also draw multiple cards a turn. You can draw cards on your opponent's turn. I mean, as soon as I saw this, I was like, this is the most powerful thing they've ever printed in this game, by far. Like, I don't know what the rest of the set says, but like, this is easily the best thing they've ever printed. This is just fucking ridiculous. I don't know how this made it through. I trust. I genuinely do trust Riot Games. Like, I really do. I have so much respect for the teams that make the games and the products they make, for the design brains and playtesters that have touched this game. A lot of incredibly talented people playtest this game week in, week out. Trust me, I've seen a bunch of them at the office every now and then. This just seems insane. So like already I feel like we're in for quite the ride as far as power creep goes, which is fine. Like games inevitably get more powerful, and that's okay. But to print basically the best 4-drops ability on a static thing in your legend zone seems wild to me. And this is, in some situations, better than Kai'Sa. In some worse, but in quite a few, quite a lot better. And this card's unbelievable to me. I can't believe they printed this. So excited to see what else the set has in it, I suppose.
I mean,
very notably, no. It's not. Well, it's not better because you can't go to an open. You can't go to an open battlefield and then draw a card.
Oh,
if it's open, you just conquer. There's no combat.
Right. Okay.
I was
But
just
also
about
this
to
works
say
on defense, right?
It does work on defense.
Well,
it does work on defense.
Yeah. So that's
Yeah,
what I was
it's
going to
messed
say. I think what is important here is that it's combat, not conquer. And when you factor that in, then yes, on defense, if somebody comes in to take a battlefield from you and you win that combat to hold, then you would get to draw from that. But there also needs to be a combat occurring. So empty battlefields, etc., will not work. And so I do wonder if this is one of those legends that feels really good because we're thinking of all of the scenarios where we would love it. But as players get better and become smarter, and as we get more legends, there's also a big part of me that wonders if smart players, for example, will just try to start retreating and giving up the open battlefields to prevent the draws, or if we're going to have more backline viable strategies, because now that we're getting, some of these other cards that we're going to talk about in the spoilers, keeping things alive in the backline is going to be a lot easier as opposed to what it was in set 1. So there is also, I think, potentially worlds where you're not really getting into combat until you need to. So I'm curious. I mean, again, feels very, very strong, but
yeah,
I don't know that it will be, more than 3 or 4 cards a game.
That sounds like a lot.
Is that it?
Yeah.
For a card you just get to exist with?
That seems pretty good.
It's unbound, by the way. So like the thing for me is like, and maybe the cool thing that Chan was kind of alluding to is like, I do think the breadth of strategies is evolving. And I think already we're seeing the game's depth being like pushed, which is great to see. Like already the cards we've seen, and there's very little we've actually seen for the set so far, looks really sweet. If Jinx is the like go-to assault legend in these colors, this is now rewarding you for holding, right? Because your opponent is no longer incentivized to come fight you unless they're very, very, very sure they can win. Because if they lose, it's really bad for them. But then you just get to play like Grove of the Godwillow in this deck, which is a crazy thing for these domains to be playing, and just park your ass on the battlefield and they either come fight you when you draw or you hold and get a point and draw. Like making your opponent have to choose between giving you points or giving you cards is a very good proposition for you.
I think we should just do this now. Can we get the Draven champion up, the Draven Vanquisher, and then after that let's get the spinning axe, and then we'll come back to the rest of the legends, because this is pertinent to Glorious Executioner here, right? So Draven Vanquisher, you talked about holding, right? When I win a combat, play a gold token exhausted. Gold tokens, if you're not familiar with them, this is one of the new things that we get here. It is essentially just a one-time use gear, right? It just gives you a power of any color, or one-time use seal, sorry. It'll destroy itself and it'll give you a power. So if you win a combat, you get that, and you get a card with Draven Vanquisher. But when I attack or defend, you may pay 1 Angie power. If you do, give me +2 might this turn. So for the full turn, and it can trigger multiple times if your opponent comes in multiple times. So it can go up to crazy values if that needs to happen. And it is baseline a 4 with no power cost for 4 might. That goes up to 6 if you want to pay the power. That seems pretty damn good, especially if you want to hold, but also offensively. And also, you are guaranteed to have 2 drops. You can just play this on 2. Every turn. You don't have to include... 2 drops. I mean 4 drops.
Yep.
Turn 2 drops.
We all know.
You don't have to include other 4-cost cards in your entire deck if you don't want to. Because every single game, you can just play this. And your deck building opens up more, because you can just carve out that section of card to have like a card you want to play on that turn and just not play anything in that slot because you can just Vanquisher every single game. Because what is going to be much better than playing Vanquisher on turn 2?
Fury Seal stonks also rise a lot in general with this set. We'll probably talk about it, but like the existence of gold, man, I'm good. True. The existence of gold definitely makes it seem like power costs are going to be not nearly as steep as they are to pay, having to pay in Origins, which is great news for the Calm fans in the audience. But that is cool to see that like giving power as a generic resource to everyone generally with gold, which is I assume is what's happening with it, means that like we were able to pay costs like the thing on Spinning Axe, which is the last piece of this puzzle Cass is alluding to. Because my first thought when I saw Draven was like, man, I wish this was a Calm unit. This would be messed up if we had pumps. And they printed this.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you want your discipline to cost a power but be +3 and also permanent? I guess it doesn't draw a card. I guess we can't fully say that's the comparison, right?
And that's going to be a really hard thing to do for Draven.
Yeah, Draven's not gonna have any cards at all, man. But okay, so the downside on Spinning Axe is that it has temporary. So if it is unattached, kill it at the start of the controller's beginning phase before scoring. So if they're able to take down your Spinning Axe attached unit before your turn, it will die and you can't re-equip it. Flavor-wise, killer, knocks it out of the park, right? He drops his axe when you're able to kill the unit that he's attaching it to. But there is another gear in this set that is the same cost, but only +2 and doesn't have temporary. And I still think that this is sick. +3 at reaction speed that will permanently stay. So if you win the combat, you snowball so hard. Yeah, it's pretty wild. You have to be so careful into Draven.
Yeah, and it is a 2 energy, 1 hybrid Angie chaos power to cast in general for podcast listeners. So I'm going to ask the L1 judges on the call now. If opponent attacks with a giant unit at a battlefield that I'm defending, and I cast Fight or Flight, do I count as winning that combat?
I hate the answer to this.
I believe the answer is yes, because a combat does start.
Yeah.
So a combat starts when the unit moves in, and then when you Fight or Flight the unit back, this was something I wanted to bring up as well, Blev, so I'm glad you got to it, you will count as winning the combat, because now you are the only one with units remaining at that battlefield.
Yeah,
I think a lot of people assumed that this would not work, but because a combat does exist, there is a winner of the combat.
So there is one possible way where that is not true. I suspect you are correct as well. And currently with the rules today, as we record this, that would be the way that it works. But they did leave themselves out this like nice little thing that they want to do if they kind of want to do like a rules reprise. If you're not familiar, Flesh and Blood does this. So every time they have a new set, they'll do like a rules reprise where they kind of clarify some things. And specifically, it's that there's the word showdown. And they could decide that a showdown is still taking place, but combat is only after damage is dealt via units. And if that's the case, then Fight or Flight would not work. And because they specifically used the word combat instead of showdown on these legends, it does make me wonder if that will be the case. But as we record this today, yes, you're 100% correct. Fight or Flight would mean Draven still wins. Which is
all the bounce working is wild.
Yeah, he trades a Fight or Flight for a new card, and will score because he's
and you just get the point
hold.
Yep.
Yeah. So Fight or Flight is insane in this deck. And so then we were talking about Ride the Wind also. Obviously that's not exactly the same, because like you won't win a combat, because if you go to an empty battlefield to dodge somebody, it's not like you get a combat over there like you would just have a normal showdown if it's empty.
Right.
But it's just like these movement things are going to cause a lot of really good opportunities for Draven.
It lets you win a combat at an empty battlefield potentially. You can just play Ride the Wind in Showdown Open and be like, hey, we're fighting now. You thought you were getting a free conquer. Yeah.
Oh, yes. Yeah. No,
yes.
so
if
sorry.
They move to conquer an empty battlefield.
I'm following what you're saying. Yes. 100%. Yeah.
You can now move your units over to an empty battlefield. It's like, it's not even safe for your opponent if you have runes up to try and fight you. You're just like, oh, no, I'm actually moving my people over here. And we're going to fight over here too. Like, it's nuts what this guy does. Thank goodness Charm isn't in these colors. Again, like there's so many degenerate things that could happen.
Time
And
to
they
play some
clearly
Draven
printed
and
this
limited
legend.
with charm.
Yeah, I mean, like, this might be the best Ari they've ever
Keep
printed,
drafting.
which makes me really sad as an Ari player because it just feels like all of the things that Ari wants to do, Draven wants to do too, and Draven's just better at it.
All right. We can move on from Draven. Our
we probably should.
early
We'll be
opinions
talking
are
about
that
him for a while, I think.
are that Draven will be the best deck in the format is my early
Yep,
opinion, but
that
that
is
is like
my
such an
hot take
early
also.
guess, right? It's just like such an early guess.
Yeah.
So many things could change that. Let's move on. This is another one that's caused a lot of like controversy, I guess. People thinking that this sounds like broken, and that is Irelia Blade Dancer. Better nerf Irelia coming back around as a calm chaos legend with when you choose a friendly unit, you may exhaust me and pay 1 colorless power, so any color, to ready it. When you conquer, you may pay 1 energy to ready me. So you can basically deramp yourself pretty aggressively, but also using a card or equipping a gear or targeting in some way to ready units. This has a lot of crazy implications. The one that I think most people have immediately gone towards is, hey, White Flame can now just target itself and be a 16 accelerate, which is true. For 3 power total, it is a 16 accelerate, which I agree is crazy. And there are, a lot of ways that you can kind of abuse this, but also to get to that many runes with Aurelia's legend ability might be hard. It is very cost intensive on your power. The effect is strong enough that it seems worthwhile, but the question is will people be able to break this? Will people be able to actually make this really, really oppressive, or will it be a little bit more fair because the cost is quite steep?
Yeah, I already talked about it on Twitter. I'm already switching decks. This is so much more fun than Yasuo. Yasuo's already sweet, but like this is just the combo-ish version of Yasuo, I feel like. Yasuo had like a lot of like measure and like a lot of elegance and like was kind of like doing things in like a very like straightforward way, but building up to this big advantage. Irelia is just like, hey, if you have extra resources, dump all of them into me and I will do silly things in your games. And Yasuo already does some pretty silly things. Like to me, this is just the like degenerates Yasuo. So I'm very excited to be switching already. Given that I love Ride the Wind, this also basically turns all your spells into Ride the Wind. Discipline is now just Ride the Wind. Withdraw a card that makes you buff to your unit. On Guard is now just Ride the Wind for 1 mana that buffs your unit. Mask of Foresight gets better if you want to play those strategies. There's just like a bunch of really cool things you can do. And I suspect there'll be lots of different experimentation between like small number of unit decks. Like, am I just trying to build up power and play a Kayn and run over again with that? Because Kayn's really good in this deck. Am I trying to go faster with small units? Am I trying to go somewhere in the middle but go really quick with something like Purple Yasuo, who's also really good in this deck? Like, there's a bunch of really cool things you can do. And I think my favorite one that I'm generally excited for is like, if you just keep retargeting a unit with ganking that is sized enough to try and take over all the battlefields, you can do like all of the movement Yasuo stuff that you would do normally, but it's baked into all of your pumps. And that's the thing that feels really powerful is like, I'm already getting an effect I want in these colors, which is movement, but I'm getting additional things out of my spells or my abilities as well that I also want. So it's just like adding high value, presumably, to things that I already want to be playing. Whereas like moving stuff with Yasuo is like 2 resources I have to invest just to move something. And again, that is very powerful. Now, if I recall something with the Siren, I can also reset it, which is really sick and kind of gives my unit pseudo ganking. So there's a ton of ways to maybe spice this up. Pack of Wonders does not work. I did think about that one, but very excited to be playing this Legends.
Love Kayn in this, right? Like Kayn is I love Kayn as a card already in Yasuo, and I agree with you that this he fulfills that ganking condition you're talking about. And I think that Kayn could be continue to be a really fun card.
I'm so back.
So another thing, just kind of for consideration, this legend is very, very relevant when we factor in the gear that we're going to be talking about here in a little bit, because the reusable equipping is a just on the board way to keep targeting your friendly units. So
I was just gonna
at
ask
first
if that
glance,
works.
this might look like the sort of thing where you're going to burn through your cards really quickly because you're spending stuff from hand, like a discipliner or whatever, and maybe that lets you draw, but you don't need any of that. Just a gear on the board, right? Like the ones we're seeing now, the Longsword, Guardian Angel, etc. That's just a nice, easy way to activate Aurelia's ability. And what I'm really excited for is what other gear we're going to potentially get in the set, because where my brain went immediately is it says friendly. So I thought 2v2. And I'm wondering if there's going to be a really fun combo with like Heimerdinger or something where he can buff himself somehow and then you can recycle something to untap him and buff himself, and then just make like a giant Heimer, or who knows what kind of combos you'll have. But I think Irelia is going to be insane in 2v2.
I could see it.
Caitlyn's in green, by the way. Just want to.
Yeah,
It just entered my head as Chan was talking, which is like a sillier thing you can do, but that could be fun.
But you want to choose friendly units, right? So if you want to keep doing it over and over again, then you want to be doing something on a friendly.
That's what he's saying. You just keep readying Caitlyn and then shooting another battlefield over and over again. You just multiple shots per turn.
Just goblin sharpshooter.
Following up your multiplayer comment, right? Like there's 3 battlefields. You control one with Caitlyn. Just keep readying her and shoot everybody else off the battle is a pretty funny idea.
Guardian Angel also healing and recalling the unit also seems quite good because you don't really care that it gets exhausted. So giving any of your units kind of the Kayn passive for a combat seems pretty good, and then you can move them back around if you have another way to retarget them.
Yeah,
I will say power cost in Calm already feel really tough, and a lot of these, like Irelia was very power hungry. The gear, a lot of the equip costs are power hungry that we've seen so far. So given that gold makes power, these domains don't feel to me like they make a lot of gold. So I am a little concerned about like how much juice you're going to be able to squeeze out of this stuff, and you may have to once again as a Calm player manage your power very carefully. But if there's more access to power in this set, which is what I generally feel like the design trends are moving towards, there's going to be some really messed up pens you can take.
Yeah, I wonder if you can start playing seals in this deck. One of the things that you can do is like your meditations. You can just pay a power to make it so they draw 2 and don't unready you, or don't tap you, because you like cast meditation on a ready unit, and it will exhaust. I believe this would work. Actually, I don't know if it chooses. I haven't read that card in a really long time. I might be going down a line that doesn't work, because that card's like really bad right now. But
all right, we're gonna have to revoke your L1 judge. Sorry, Cass.
Oh no,
it's the whole time.
Gone.
I
think
think
no, it doesn't target. It doesn't target. Never mind. Forget it. Meditation's still bad. Forget about it.
What does it actually? What does meditation actually say?
It is a 2-cost reaction. It says, as an additional cost to play this, you may exhaust a friendly unit. If you do, draw 2. Otherwise, draw 1.
Okay. Because if you look at the wording on equip, it doesn't actually say choose either. It just says attach this to a unit you control.
Yeah, I think it'll. Well, I don't know. We'll figure it out later. That's fine. Let's move on. Next up, we've got Renata Glasc. This is not a champion I thought we'd see so soon, but it is a champion that I love design-wise and aesthetically. Like, one of my biggest tragedies of Arcane is that Renata Glasc was not one of the Chem Barons that we got to see, but not enough room in the story, I think, to add another big character like that. But this is she is the new Mind and Order Legend Chem Baroness. When you or an ally hold, you may exhaust me to play a gold gear token exhausted. While your score is within 3 points of the victory score, your gold add an additional energy. So an energy alongside the power.
Oh.
People have been seeing this immediately as maybe the best Time Warp deck going forward, as you can cheat out Time Warp a lot easier once you're basically within winning range with Time Warp. You'll be able to utilize the additional energy from your gold and power to pay that cost and try and close out the game.
I think this is sweet. I was more excited when I thought you could simply tap your gold to make a resource and not sacrifice them. This is a lot worse now that I've read the card again.
You just get lotus petals, not full moxes.
Yeah, that'd be sick though, anyway.
Yeah, nobody's done anything busted ever with a lotus petal, so
nope, never.
Nothing to worry about.
She seems the most straightforward, but she also does seem like she opens up a play style that we haven't necessarily seen. Well, I guess Ari is probably the closest thing where it's like full control, hold, like just react, hold, build resources, and then win with Time Warp or other thing that has maybe not been revealed yet or will be, will come in the future in terms of a big finisher. You're essentially doing like, you can play the control game, build points slowly, and then get free land drops for the late game, which is basically what control decks traditionally want. The cool thing for me, to me, with her is that she like retroactively gives your gold the additional ability. You don't like, it's not like, oh, the new gold that she makes when that happens, get that ability. It's like all of your gold that you have from whatever means immediately become lotus petals once you are at 5 or more points, which is potentially really cool and like opens up an interesting new a new line that we haven't necessarily seen, a new interaction with decks where it's like we want to specifically prevent you from getting to this point threshold rather than like we're just trying to get to 2, 4, 6, 8. It's like, no, we need to really over index to try to get her to not get to 5 for whatever reason. And because she really turns on at that point or whatever, like the deck might end up being like you rush to 5, then you turn on, or like, you know, it could be, which is really cool.
Yeah, the level 1 thought for Renata is she's going to play a lot like the Green Ahri list right now. The Green Ahri Time Warp list. She's going to have a very similar idea, pretty aggressive, tempo-oriented early game, and then this combo finish that you're looking to create the board state for. And honestly, I think yellow is a pretty good color to try and create this board state. When you have things like Call the Weak, you have hidden blades that you can hide. There's a lot of just kind of good ways to create a board state to Time Warp in these colors, and that's why, I mean, people had looked at Time Warp and Victor and Lux and stuff beforehand and never quite found the exact build, but this is a deck that maybe can leverage it further, and we'll see that even more with, you know, the signature spell, the Chosen Champion, that kind of stuff. Like, can it even create that game state even better? Pretty cool concept out the gates.
I'll point out, by the way, that Pit Crew does trigger off of gears, and getting gold is playing a gear. Very silly. Don't know if it's good, but it is funny.
All right, let's continue on. We're gonna go to one of the champions I've wanted the most, one of my favorite League of Legends champions of all time, Azir. Big fan. This is new Calm Order. They keep getting me with Common Order. You know, a Leona fan, and now I want to play Azir, Emperor of the Sands. Your Sand soldiers have Weapon Master, which Weapon Master essentially is when you when they come into play, you can attach a gear to them at a reduced cost, where attach an equipment to them. The reduced cost is it reduces it by 1 power. Most equipment, the attach cost is 1 power, so you're essentially attaching most equipment for free to Weapon Masters when they enter. But this is 1 energy, exhaust, play a 2 might Sand Soldier unit token to your base. Use only if you've played an equipment this turn. So this will require you to have a critical mass of equipment in your deck to make use of this, but this is a 1 energy tap for a 2 might Sand Soldier, which is quite strong. It is above rate, so Azir is going to be doing a lot of above rate might things when playing gear down. The immediate one is they revealed Doran's Shield, which is a 1 energy equipment that when you that is only 1 power to equip, and it is just 1 might and tank. So Azir's going first turn 1 play can be just play Doran's Shield, then play out a Sand Soldier and equip it as a 3 might tank unit, which is better than most other decks turn 1 plays. So there's a lot of value game that we're going to start to see as these gear get released more and more for Azir.
I personally really like Azir. I know that he's not gotten nearly the same fanfare as some of the other legends revealed, but what I really like about him is that his legend ability helps you to negate some of the like negative tempo of developing gear in the early stages of a game. So traditionally, if you are trying to play units early on, then you're playing your gear later, and then they kind of just become, you know, buffs that stick around longer, right? There are combat tricks that you see coming, etc. Azir's playstyle actually means that you can develop those gear pieces early and always have a body to throw them on. You're also reducing your chances of being punished for, say, only drawing gear, right? If you're playing an aggressive deck and you've got some gear in there and maybe you brick with an opening hand and you don't have any of your cheap units and you've got gear or whatever, Azir still lets you always have a use for it, right? So he's, I think, just going to make it very smooth, very easy to play these pieces of gear. And the reason that I'm really excited is because specifically he's in Calm and Order. Those are colors that have focused pretty heavily on holding, and being able to develop this kind of like vertical where you're developing the gear and then you can play your units that are also just really good at holding and then attach them later on, I think could be a viable strategy. So I actually really like Azir.
Anyone else got thoughts on Azir?
Well,
I'm going to lose to this and I hate it. That's my
thought. Like you mentioned, Charmer, one of the big problems with decks like this is finding that critical mass, and like you could just not run any units in your deck if you didn't want to with this. Like it is true. Possible that you could just have the Azir ability be the entirety of your units. Now that's probably not good, but one issue that happens with those decks is those types of decks is the wrong half of deck problem, where it's like, I drew all the pump spells and none of the creatures, or I drew all the creatures and none of the pump spells, or like for Aurora, it's like I drew all the big units and none of the ramp, or vice versa. Like you can over-index on the equipment cards and be at least somewhat fine, and then maybe have a few key later game units that interact with equipment favorably that we haven't seen yet, and that may not exist, but it's really cool to have that that constant body that is a body that you can play every time you play an equipment, and also just gets the equipment that have been left behind too because of Weapon Master, which is really cool.
Yeah. I also think 1 is a very powerful number in Riftbound. Obviously, it's generally the lowest amount that something costs, unless it's free, which there are, a handful of things. But because the way you channel runes is often in 2s, not always, but often in 2s, you can sometimes find spots in your curve where like you have a resource floating, but you don't really have anything to do with it. So anytime you have an outlet for that, Victor is a good example of this too, right? Where you just can make a one might recruit for 1. Anytime you can get a pretty well statted unit for its cost, even though you have to jump through a few hoops, is worth looking at, right? This is just in your legend and it sits there the entire game. Like this is going to smooth out a lot of your draws, which I think is kind of what John was alluding to. And as Cass said, this is already pretty good as far as rate goes. So I do think this is a pretty interesting card. Like I said, I'm not looking forward to losing to this a lot. I lose to it already in League of Legends. It's going to happen in Riftbound. I'm going to get run over by Sand Soldiers once again. 3rd game in a row.
Well, one last thing I'll note is that unlike Victor, the Sand Soldiers always go to your base. Correct. So if you're playing a hold strategy, you can't reinforce. So.
And I just want to note that Azir does actually end up sharing a color with Irelia, so you may be able to play Azir and Irelia in the same decks in yet another Riot card game.
What? You want to come on the show?
No, they don't seem necessarily very complimentary. I will say they don't seem very complimentary of each other, but they are the same colors, so we will see.
People what you have seen.
Yeah.
Cool if Jax is in this set, by the way. That's like a random thought I just had.
Well, there's still a few unrevealed. I mean, you may it is possible that we could get Jax still, right? I think we're still missing 2 that have like just not even been. They haven't even shown teaser for or something like 2 or 3.
I think so.
This has absolutely no bearing on whether they'll be in the set or not. But fun fact: Draven and Jax have the same voice actor.
Damn.
Yeah, there's
maybe.
That's cool. It's
ready for battle.
Alrighty, let's talk about Sivir. This card seems sweet, by the way. Legend Sivir Battle Mistress. When you recycle a rune, you may exhaust me to play a gold gear token. Exhausted when 1 or more enemy units die, ready me. This is in MF's domains. Kind of has a similar vibe of like movement and aggression. MF is a legend I've been looking at a lot, just in general. Seems like the kind of deck I'd be interested in playing if I wasn't so Yasuo Ari pilled or Annie pilled. Actually, there's a lot of stuff happening. But this seems like a really cool take. This might be the sleeper of the legends I've released, actually. I think I just realized, like reading this again, it's like, this gives you a rebate on the first rune you recycle every turn. That is what Kaiser does. That's very, but not exactly. But like that is very powerful in and of itself, and there's ways to reset it. So if there's anything else you can do with gold, by the way, that isn't just like make power, like if you can cash it in for a different resource or sacrifice it to another subset of cards or anything like that, which given Sivir's like lore as a character would maybe make sense in her deck. She's easily the most best gold generator we've seen so far, at least from the Legend Zone.
Oh,
so
very
I think
much
this is a really, really sweet card that might do some fun stuff.
Yeah, it looks like she'll maybe want to. I mean, depending on if she's got payoffs like you're talking about. If there's payoffs, it changes everything completely. It's a whole new world, and we have no idea exactly what that'll do. But like, just from a general sense, she just has on turn, off turn, right? So first turn, you recycle a rune, you create a gold. The next turn, if you want to play another thing with power cost, you just crack the gold, and then you continue to ramp up. And with that on turn, off turn kind of style, it means that basically every card in your deck could have a power cost reasonably. Like you could just play more of the strong power costing things and not care as much about that like cost curve hurting you. There's probably some calculations you have to do. It's not exactly just like, put power on everything, but you can be a lot more cavalier about it, right? You can have a lot more things that cost power in your deck and not be as worried about your power curve completely bricking you. And that in itself is a very powerful thing to have around, because cards that cost power tend to, guess what, be a little bit more powerful than cards that don't. It's not exactly 1-to-1, but at least when you're paying less runes and paying some power for it, it is better. And so if Sivir gets to kind of leverage that and play stronger stuff earlier, she could create a very strong tempo deck. So we might see some cool stuff out of Sivir.
You would still probably have to be aggressive in that situation, right? Because you are still bricking your energy at that point. Because
you are
never give you energy.
One every other turn.
Right. So you're still deramping though. You're not like.
I think that's like almost no more than most other decks.
Sure.
Yeah.
But it's not like free necessarily.
No.
But again, like if there's other things like Renata that like somehow turn your gold into other things or do other things with gold, like all of a sudden, like you can literally just get a gold every turn because you don't need to actually pay for anything to recycle the rune. You can just do that as an innate ability of a rune. So you can just make your gold. That's a gear entering, that's a gold enter. Like all of those things can just happen innately without any sort of need to proc that.
Yep.
Which is really cool.
You have to pay a cost, but it's pretty easy to find a cost to pay.
Yep.
Do you? Wait, do you? I don't.
I'm pretty sure you do. Judge?
Yeah, I think you need to pay a cost. I think so.
No, because you can float runes. You can just float your. You can just float.
You could just put them onto the bottom of your rune deck for no reason.
Yeah, I think you can.
Oh, okay. Let's. You
know
what?
We need a new question on the judge test. I think. You gotta read that one.
I'm pretty sure that you can.
That's spicy.
You can.
That's spicy. If true.
Energy, but I do not believe that you can recycle without something triggering the recycle.
I also thought that was the case. I thought that was the case. This is what I mean by like anyone can just become an L1 right now. By the way, like you don't like it was 12 questions. Like it's not crazy, but
all right.
We are running pretty low on time.
Yeah.
Is there any other cards from the reveals that any of you want to specifically get into? We have another video on the channel which has me talking about every single card relatively in depth. If you want to check that out, that we'll link it in the description, or we'll put it up somewhere at the end here. But I also want to get everyone else's takes and have that discussion. So pick a card and we'll do one for each of you guys, I guess, before we close things out.
Oh my God, what have we spoiled?
Do me last.
Production, pull up the thing again.
Looking up these rules right now.
We have.
Thank you, production.
I was gonna say we have like the script thing for you to look at as well, Pastry.
No,
I'll
that's
go
too
first. Hard. Even though now I have a decision to make because I want to talk about the Poro too, because I'm a Poro herder truther, but I want to talk about Sterak's Gage. Is somebody who still am trying so desperately to make hold Ahri work, make that a thing, because I love Ahri and I just like the kind of controlling hold play style. This card is very, very important because it is a reaction speed, because of the quick draw on it. It's a reaction speed buff that sticks around. And if you are playing with the Ahri where you get an additional point for holding, it's a magic break point because that 4 + 3 is 7, which is out of the range by itself of Falling Star. That's a really big deal. Yes, it has a pretty steep power cost, but I am okay with that because I've kind of already committed to playing multiple seals in any of the green kind of control decks I've been playing anyway. But this in particular, I mean, all of the stuff that gives plus might kind of changes the game, but I think this one more than any other really kind of changes the viability of some of the units we have going into those Kaisa matchups.
Oh yeah, hang on a second. Bring up Overzealous Fan. What were they thinking when they put this guy? I forgot I had a whole rant with this card.
Paisley, take
Wait
your
a
rant.
second.
Take your rant.
Wait a second. Okay, so I looked at this little guy. I'm like, oh, that's cute. It's a little Draven guy. It's the fan from the LOR. That's great. This costs 2. That's good. Everyone needs 2 drops. Why does it have 2 might? Because those stats are actually kind of reasonable in a deck that like
it's
like
big
in
as
a deck
portal.
that wants stats all the time. And look, read this text. When I defend, you may kill me to move an attacking unit to its base. That is like an absurd. That is fight or flight on a piece of text. Like, yes, you have to sacrifice a unit, but now you get the choice of like forcing your opponent into a combat that you can try and win as Draven, which if you win, you draw a card, or you just say, no, I'm canceling the combat. Also, with the way the rules currently work, actually, I don't know. But depending on how the rules line up, this might already draw you a card if you have a different unit at the base. This is also the best reinforced unit they've ever made. Like, what is happening? This card is so good. Like, why does it have stats? This could be like this is already a spell in the game. Why did they put might on it? I don't understand.
Pastry, yes, you found it. This is copies 4 through 6 of Fight or Flight for your purple decks. If you already didn't like getting Fight or Flighted, welcome to copies 4 through 6 in the deck.
And then you can just equip a spitting axe to it and be like, actually, we're fighting JK. You lose your unit, I draw a card, get fucked. Like, this unit is so absurd.
You can just, this is just your 2-drop. So now you just cut other bad 2-drops and you just play this instead. So that on your turn 1, if you need to, here's a 2-drop for 2. That was on raid anyway. And then if you find it later in the game, then you do the crazy thing. So
I'm glad I remembered.
And like those aggressive purple decks just want to stop your opponent from getting early points anyway. So it's just like, take turn 1 this, turn 2 take. They go to attack, just go, no, I'll just sack my guy. You just don't get the point. I'll recapture with Kaisa, draw a card. Like, absolutely wrecked.
There's a time walks a unit. There's a 2 might unit that costs 4 and 2 power to bounce a unit. Like, yes, bouncing is better, but like, this is so much better than that card.
Oh, that card also costs multiple power.
That's what I said. It costs 2 power for some reason.
Yup.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
this guy's the one that like people didn't rant about that much and is actually just like crazy. It's funny. It's really, really funny. This one's definitely insane.
I forgot I crashed out of it this a week ago, so I'm glad we made it back.
Yeah. Go ahead, Lev. I know you've got your next one, right?
I'm just glad that card's not in Spiritforged Proving Grounds, because it would be the new Flash.
New Flash.
Okay, so update here. Rule 157.2. A basic rune always has the following 2 abilities. 157.2.a E reaction add 1 energy, and then 157.2.b recycle this reaction add rune color. Just always have the following those abilities.
All right.
Yeah, you can just bin for no reason whatsoever.
All right.
It's a learning show. We love that.
Yeah.
There you go.
Got there.
All right. So did you also decide what card you wanted to talk about, or were you just looking at it?
Nope. I did decide the card, and that card is Svellsongur, which is one of the few epics that we've seen so far. 3 energy, 1 calm power. So green here has an equip cost of 1 energy and 1 green power, and it says, as this is attached to a unit, copy that unit's text to this equipment's effect text for as long as this is attached to it. So basically it doubles the effect of a unit that it is equipped to, which the Green Ari, like any of those effects, like those are the easy ones, but like there's probably a million things you can do with this already, but every single time a unit in green or that can get access to green comes out, we get to go, ooh, what happens if this unit's effect is doubled? How do we this is one of the first, like, there were not a ton of cards in Origins that I can think of off the top of my head that really break the game in the way that Magic players are used to breaking the game. And this is the first one that really is like, yeah, we're going to actually break the game in Spiritforged, and I'm excited about that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can exhaust this because the equipment gets the texts. So, for example, we mentioned Caitlin. I think you could also click this exhausting it for Caitlyn's ability too. So like this works with way more stuff than you think it does.
That's amazing. This is
I don't know that that's true because the equipment, the way that they show the attaching of equipment is they want you to put it directly under so that text bar shows up underneath the unit. And basically that text is just added to the unit. It is not like it's not like the equipment like essentially ceases to exist as its own permanent and it is like attached to it. I don't like not exactly that because I think you can maybe still destroy it. But like I don't think you can
think about.
I don't think you can tap the rune and then also tap Caitlyn. I think it just would be like, I don't think it works like that exactly. We'll have to get the rules thing to come out of there. However, what it does work with are things like green Yasuo to strike 2 different targets for his might total, right? Or purple Yasuo to score 2 points, or green Ari to score 2 points on hold. So those kind of things should work. We do need an actual full like rules document on equipment to confirm anything, because that's just not out yet. But based on how it's been talked about, the text is supposed to just be added to your hero text or your unit text essentially, not its own like text box of its own like equipment.
That makes sense, except this equipment specifically adds the unit text to its text box because that's how the card works.
To the text box at the bottom there. That part that would become part of the unit.
I see what you're saying.
Exactly.
I see.
I can definitely see it working that way, but I'm gonna withhold all judgment until we get an actual.
Yeah, I want a rules doc before I'm fully convinced, but I don't think exhaust abilities will like be able to be doubled up. Unless they say once per turn, because then you could do it and then ready the unit and do it again. All right, that is good on spoilers for now. There's more, but like I said, we've got a video where I talk about all of them. If people want a little bit even further in depth of just my thoughts on each of them, we have a video on the channel with me covering all the stuff that was revealed. We've got what we want to do mailbag real quick, or we gotta wrap this thing up.
No, we'll do our mailbag here. If you want to get on a mailbag for future week,
which you should
comment on the video because we are always looking for some awesome stuff to talk about. I mean, we've got spoilers, so we're good for a while, but we always want to hear what you've got to ask. So here we go from old school here from Joseph Andrews 5381. So shout out to Blevins, the old Dark Forest shop. Shout out Joe Andrews. What's up, buddy? What's something to learn playing Riftbound that's very different from Magic? This is a really good one, and a question that I think a lot of people are going to be asking or have asked over these past couple of weeks. Biggest one for me is just that the cost of cards and your gut reaction to the cost of a card is not the same. Your evaluation is off. Something costing 4 is not, I can't glut my deck with 4 drops because then I'm going to not function. It's like, no, that's actually a 2 drop. And your 2 drops are 1 drops. And I'm not even getting into power cost. Just like, hey, looking at this 8 drops, like, oh, I'm going to play maybe one of those in my deck. It's going to be unplayable unless I'm ramping. It's like, no, that's just the thing you get to do in this game, which is really cool. And something you kind of have to unlearn coming from Magic and other games where you don't necessarily always get to, 8 or 10 mana or anything higher than like 5 in a competitive setting. So that's the biggest thing for me.
My one's always the same. Timing rules are different. If you're a Magic player, you're going to get stumped every time. So learn how it's different. Your windows and the way your instants work, and there's no end of turn step. There's all that stuff that's baked into Magic players' brains from years and years and years of playing is similar but slightly different enough to Riftbound that I've seen every Magic player get tripped up. So learn your timing window and how there aren't phases in this game in the same way that there are in Magic, and just adjust to how timings and chains work because it is sometimes the same and often not. And you will lose because you thought it worked the same way as it did Magic, and it doesn't.
Charmer, you got one?
Less about learning, I guess, how to play and more so just a tip, but you can't use your health as a resource nearly as effectively in Riftbound. Turns out 8 points is wildly easier to accomplish than say 20 health, and there's no healing, there's no whatever to kind of close the gap or stabilize. So tempo matters in this game quite a bit.
Should we briefly go into what tempo is? Anyone got that?
Nope, that's for the next episode of the
All right, play us off, Blevins.
You can just play the soundbite for the next episode.
Thanks, everyone, for listening and watching again. If you're listening to this episode, there's a good chance that we are live at SCG Con Vegas.
Buggers.
As we are going to be there live on the 23rd for the SCG 10K. We're going to be on site doing all sorts of content and stuff for the entire weekend. So if you're at Vegas, come over and say hi. Bring Cass a treasure trove.
That's
bring
the one.
Charmer your charms and all that good
And bring
stuff.
Blev your Angie runes. He'll alter them for you.
I'll sign your Angie rune.
You have to alter them too.
I'll alter them as something amazingly horrible. But yeah, so come hang out with us at SCG Con. And if not, hang out with us in the chat right here on the Turn 'em Sideways YouTube channel. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, do all of those things. But that is going to be another episode in the books for Casanova, for Charmer, for Pastry Time, for the whole Turn 'em Sideways crew. I'm Blevins. We'll see you in Vegas.
Blevins.
Bye.